Hi, welcome back to beginner series 006 that is intending to bring to you the topic walling in terms of the rules which are needed to carry out a measurement or carry out estimation, whichever way you'd like to refer to it. For the introduction, as usual, my name is Baxton Ochieng. I want to welcome you to this session and urge you as well to please make a subscription, because as they have started coming, the sessions are going to get more interesting as they go. Now, also just building on this being a beginner series, it's important that I just make a little recap. We are sticking to the order which in which we've been giving the content for the beginner series. That is in regard to the enlisted rules of measurement from the standard methods of measurement. So in that case, you realize that they are coming bit in bit from what we started with from the beginner series 001 up to now that we are to the beginner series 006. So that means that when you are keeping check in terms of the delivery, then it's you are better placed, because you are building on whatever that you've already gained, and then as it goes by, you realize that you'll be having content that is procedural in terms of how you can handle your work. And also, just to reiterate that these rules and in terms of the order in which they are brought up, you realize that they mimic that process, mostly mimic process in which the construction is undertaken. So beginning from we did things to do with excavation, we did also concrete work, now we are at walling. So in that order, you realize that they are building on top of each other to give you that better basis and foundation in which you are able to carry out the estimation with ease. So we move. Upon making that introduction, we'll look to the next item. So this is section G of the standard methods of measurements that we are looking at. Yes, now the section G is what gives the provisions in which you are expected to handle your estimation for the walling. Now, as usual, I'll just explain to you straight on point summary so that don't waste much time. You know what you're looking for, you go straight to it, and you use it for your benefit. Purposefully, that is the reason that we have this channel, so that you have that direct on point content that is given to you, and it's in a summarized version, and also explained in a manner that you are not going to find it in any other channel. So that said, section G of the standard methods of measurement, you'll find your walling under there. So as we move, before we get deeper into that, I just want us to talk about briefly walling. Of course, walling is now the external fabric doing different functions like preventing, now let me say, extreme weather conditions, and then you also have security, and then you also have we've talked about it's enveloping the house. So when it does so, it gives you now sense of security, and also it prevents now the impact of extreme weather conditions from the occupants of the house, and that is it. So that is just a basic definition of walling. But then you find that walling, they can be of different types, okay, which is directly this is important because you need to know the type of walling in terms of thickness, material, as a quantity surveyor, before you end up giving your quotation or giving up your estimate. So it's important that you understand which type of walling is this in terms of the specs, in terms of the detailing. Of course, all that you might find them from the architectural drawing in terms of thickness of a particular wall, and also how that wall has been done. But then, as usual, I tell you that the quantity surveyor, you need to have all that knowledge within you, because you are not going to estimate that given work properly if you don't have idea of how it is done and how you arrive there and material that has been done there and so on. So for you to equip yourself properly with the estimation knowledge, you also need to equip yourself properly with the items that you have in terms of specifications and the actual way in which that work is done on site. So we have various types, including brick walling, the traditional brick walling, or you can find them in many parts of the country, outside country, in any other place. You can have, of course, there are different sizes which will come to cover them later on, but we have brick walling, we have natural stone walling, okay, concrete block walling, machine cut stones, glazing also as a wall, okay. Of course, you can have maybe supporting structures in terms of steel, and we also have timber walling. Timber walling, there are those specific regions in which such walling has been they're the ones that are dominant, but then for the case within the domestic area, you find that natural stones are dominant, or concrete block walling, or especially the natural stones, and then the machine cut stones that are used largely. But then the idea that brick walling maybe is mostly adopted within the so-called the rural or the upcountry areas that there. So that said, just click into your mind and remember that you need to understand the type of material that you are using in terms of thickness and the specifications for you to properly estimate that given works. So it's important that we had that a brief introduction to that. So in terms of our measurement, we now have to put in mind what is important for us. As usual, I give you the summary, I give you the straight on what you need in terms of your estimation. So I've said that we'll have it's in our section G that specifies walls in ways in which it should be done. Okay, so that is how it's supposed to be relayed. There is one specific type of walling that I have not mentioned here, and that is concrete reinforced concrete walling. Okay, let's just say reinforced concrete walling. That is also another type of walling that is available. Reinforced concrete walling. So in this case, this specific one that I've added just now, this one will be falling under concrete, so it does not fall within this section G. Okay, so in the way in which that is measured will be in regard to how we learned of concrete measurement. Below 300 millimeters in thickness, square meters. When it's above 300 when it's above 300 millimeters in thickness, you do it in cubic meters. So let's move on. We've talked about generally measured in square meters. Okay, and then we can just pinpoint the area in which we get such. Generally you do it in square meters. Let me just give you an highlight of what you need. Talking about various types we've covered, classifications. Okay, and then we now talk of this. Now this is the item that you are looking for. So in terms of your summary and ease of work, straight on square meters for that subsection G4, and then you can now classify them in terms of now how subsections of how you're now carrying out that work in terms of relation to bills of quantities. So you have walls. You also can specify them in based on the purpose or the locations in which they are found. They are available. Those walls are found. So when you look at that in that given manner, then you know that you've already classified it as you have external walls, you have internal walls. So for this external wall, it's of this thickness. Internal wall is of this thickness, made in this particular order. Okay, so I want us to look into, before we move on further, I want us to get to a glimpse of bills of quantities, of how that is appearing. So this is a section bill number 2, bill number 3, that is, in regard to how the work that I was doing is categorized. And then we have, it's now the walling. Okay, so in walling, basically you move straight on, describe now how fully it will be done. Okay, because just a reminder that